Good. Thank you guys for confirming. And we are reaching to some other topic actually. So, which the engineered features, maybe in perspective of the data engineering and data science, or in big data perspective also, maybe with the existing columns or with the existing features, there is a possibility of um, creating some kind of attributes. So though they are not available in the corresponding table or the source data, but at sometimes there is a possibility of generating those things. So MySQL also providing such kind of column information, which is known as generated column. Okay, so just you while creating a new table, just what we generally do is just we use the create table statement, and of course we are using the most popular constructs like insert, update, delete, where they are all belongs to the DML operations. And of course, these particular things can be used to modify the data directly in the table columns. Maybe I'm having some specific columns, and according to my requirement, after insertion also I can do this updation. So apart from that, in 5.7 of MySQL, they have introduced a new feature called generated column. So a generated column is something like columns which are generated because the data in these columns are computed based on the predefined expressions. Um, the conceptually we'll try to understand, but first let us see the implementation. So with the help of that implementation, we can easily get into the appropriate understanding of the data. So for this, just what we are doing is just we are creating one kind of the table where this particular table is allowing us to perform the appropriate logic of generating this particular column. And with the case study, we are going to talk about those kind of the notions. Okay. Uh, this particular, especially this topic and in enumeration topic are very much helpful, especially in the priorities or internally if you want to map some kind of the values. So basically just we'll start with the kind of creation of the table, and we'll see the application, and then I'll open up the discussion so that then we can take it forward. Okay. So for this also I'm taking some kind of the scenario. So this particular scenario is something like, friends, where um, like just let me show the tables. Okay, so yeah, that context is there actually. Already I have created. So this particular context table is there, guys, and this particular table, what I'm doing is, let me describe the context first. My requirement is here ID, first name, last name, full name, and as well as the email. Um, so I'm showing the result actually here. So if you see this, this field wise, we are not having any doubt. And the type of the data, I'm having some various kinds of the data types corresponding to our table. The null allowing or not by the table, and moreover the key just in the establishment of this particular table, we have used that primary key. And of course a good programming practice is auto increment. You need not explicitly mention until there is a specific requirement of generating this particular key. Now friends, here if you observe from this particular scenario, what we are considering is um, uh, generally after your reporting, they assign you some kind of the ID. Actually that ID is nothing but your mail ID, which is tagged with MS Office and which is tagged with Teams, and even your Zoho account and Great HR login. All these things you are making use of this particular common ID. And friends, based on our Aadhaar or based on some kind of mapping of first name and last name, they generally give us the mail ID. But if at all I want to automate these kind of the things and I want to generate, okay, based on the first name and last name of the corresponding table, and I want to generate some kind of column, engineered column, that is the base scenario. So just the approach is pretty simple and the case is also pretty simple. So for this, just let me again create the table so that you can easily observe what we are doing. Just we are creating the contacts one table here ID. Just we are creating the kind of like whatever the auto increment option, because I don't want to use any character kind of the data. Directly I'm populating the auto increment with auto increment, and first name last name as usual, and email. So just I want to I want to have that particular email column also. So just you refer this, and as usual initially if you are having this particular description. So this particular table now a plain table as that of normal, a typical database developer created table. So just with the information about ID, first name, last name, email related to the contacts information. Up to this, we don't have any objection and we don't have any ambiguous kind of things. Now the situation is once this is over, now if I want you to pick up, okay, so I want to get some kind of information where I want to insert some kind of the data and I want to pick some first name and last name. So generally friends here just there is a class. Okay, so just I want to make use of this concat actually. So while working with the string kind of the data, so always we are having the kind of the convention like so just we are making use of this particular statement. Have a look on this. Is a typical statement where I can bank on so as to perform some kind of the logic of concatenation. So what we are doing is um, okay, let me insert. Okay, contacts one. What is the table name I have given? Contacts one. Hmm. Okay, capital C I have used it. No problem. Yeah. So concat function, and here what I am doing is just this particular table name, and I am entering. Okay, because I have not entered any kind of the columns. Obviously, it is taking that one. Or else, let me clear the screen. And if you are referencing this first name and last name kind of thing, simply I can dependent on this already existing data. So I want to concatenate first name and last name, whatever the data items I'm having, just you see here. Okay, so concat of first name and last name. So just whatever the first name and last name I am having as a part of this particular concatenation, or else I want to remove this email also for the time being. Just you can make use of only concatenation of this particular data. Now you see. Okay, I'm having this first name and as well as the last name column. And every time, friends, whenever you want to pick up that particular information of the first name and last name, so there is a function, okay, predefined function kind of things. And by the way, friends, just I am asking you as a kind of things, at least, okay, each member specify at least three predefined functions you have used in SQL. Okay, so at least three. Uh, and the clause here is it should not repeat. Okay, maybe Sahu is saying some predefined functions like length, strcmp or strcat whatever, and you have to edit based on that. I need all unique predefined functions. Okay, so in a way we'll get 36 12 members were there now, 36 predefined functions. Harish is Harish is giving the first. Okay, otherwise he has to edit na. So Harish is typing. Oh, you also just to think through, friends, which are all the maybe you have used or you know. Okay, maybe if I'm saying you have used, then you end up with repetitions. But while generating, while talking about these kind of things, just let me know which are all the functions you are familiar, and then we'll discuss okay, one by one, whichever the things you are fetching. If it is possible, you describe a little explanation also. That definitely give some kind of advantage. Okay, one liner. So our guys also familiar with remaining 33 functions along with their three. Okay, so just you pick up some three predefined functions from SQL, and you one liner, single liner. Okay, this is doing this. Maybe lower, upper, some you need not explain, but sometimes coalesce is there, and such kind of functionalities. Definitely, I expect some kind of explanation on that. Okay, very good. Okay, all are doing well. And friends, for this particular purpose, so if I want to automate this particular thing, because one of the important thing is, though we are specifying these kind of concat and all, and every time applying these kind of thing, again, it is a temporary benefit only. But at times, I want to generate, okay, some kind of the information, and where that particular information is really giving me some kind of essence to automate the aspects. Okay, so in that particular case, friends, I can come up with some kind of the logic where though I'm enjoying the benefits of the predefined functions, but I don't want to end up my process with that orientation. Rather, what I want to do is I want to create some table with full potentiality of using this kind of approach. Okay, like I want to automate the process. I want to automate the process. So for that particular purpose, friends, just be with me. Okay, so just I am trying to fetch the appropriate concept. So in front of you. So just I got the confirmation, and now you have a look on this, guys. So create table contacts one. So ID, which is integer, auto increment, and we are designating that thing as a primary key. And of course, first name, last name as usual, how we have done in the earlier case. In the same way, we are portraying that particular aspect. Now, the important point we need to observe is this particular statement actually. So have a look on that. Uh, this particular statement, even I am pasting here also, just to refer that. Okay, so the statement here is, friends, full name, varchar of 101, whatever the thing. There is some kind of analogy behind that, because as I am adding first name and as well as the last name, just one more bit I am giving varchar of 101, because first name is 50, last name is 50. At the end of this particular logic, I want to concatenate the first name and as well as the last name. So that is the reason behind why we are making use of that full name. And there is a clause, friends, actually. So just observe here, generated always as. One more concept I am recollecting here, friend. There is a process called alias name actually. So suppose in the earlier session also we come across this situation, like any suppose if I am having any kind of table name with the longer table names, and I want to replace that particular table name with a short form. Okay, like Ashur Lochin Sahu. Rather than that, I can say as AS, and Wasim Akram. Okay, WA. Okay, like that if I want to perform some kind of aliasing, so that aliasing is having the potentiality of table, whatever the tables we are having. But in addition to that, I want to avoid the repetition of long names. But as we discussed, the best programming or better to implement the appropriate code in a better way, we are having that convention, readability, and the table name should be small and they are meaningful. So though we follow the kind of the convention, but sometimes we cannot avoid representation of those particular things. Okay, so especially in case of the tables, the table should be at the moment while we are working with the project, we cannot go by simpler names. Rather than that, we have to go by the meaningful names. Okay, always meaningful name may not be shorter, sometimes 12 or 16 character length would be there, but again typing 16 characters and typos is the main problem, friend, because some even if I am considering myself, I am always prefer to use MySQL in the command orientation rather than the that workbench, because I don't know, I love to enter these things through the command orientation. I enjoy the seeing of this thing in the report format, but whereas we miss out all those things in the GUI. So GUI is simple and elegant, uh, but uh, but I prefer generally while doing some kind of trainings and projects, I prefer these commands, command prompt orientation. So in that particular case, aliasing is always helpful. Now, coming to this particular thing, as I mentioned, from my MySQL 5.7, they have come up with this particular generated columns. What we are saying is full name should be generated always as, see here friends, all generated always as, always. So suppose if I am inserting my first name and last name, again this full name should be populated in such a way that just you need to pick up that first name and as well as the last name, and then you generate the full name. So to maintain this particular context, so obviously the redefinition of the table actually. So you need not worry about the population of the data full name. Maybe I would say, suppose to compute the salary of the employee, not only concat friends, you can perform some kind of any other operation. Okay, so maybe the marks, or maybe you can generate some kind of the any other such kind of populations from the existing columns. So you need not worry about a explicit computing process. Rather, you can enjoy the benefit of this particular generated column. But this particular case study mentions that while allocating some kind of the email ID to the member without verifying all the other details. However, we are fetching that particular first name and last name from the website. But where sometimes, you know, guys, there may be a possibility of utilizing that first name last name in the efficient manner. So so as to efficiently utilize that particular thing, we are having the generated columns. So this particular generated column, we have given the name as full name and varchar and generated always as, and just we are concatenating whatever the columns existing in the table. Okay, which is a very nice feature. Just I observed that. Okay, so in the MySQL latest, so definitely it returns some error because already context is there. So before running this particular query, one more option we are having, friends, because you know this is also one more optimization technique I have to say. Reason behind this is you are preparing some 10 or 15 lines of the code, and you are about to submit to the server. Um, Generally in the table creation and all, it happens. Maybe if I'm having some kind of habit of giving the names, repeated names would cause always some kind of the disturbance. So in that particular case, it is always a good programming practice, and always it is helping us. So just I need not come back and verify. Okay, just I am very pretty sure that even if the table exists also, I want to override that particular table. Okay, I want to override that particular table. So what I want to do is I want to create this particular table again with a small modification. Okay, yes, you're right. Okay, the point came to your mind. Just to observe this particular statement. Correct. Okay, so what I'm doing first, I'm dropping this particular table. Okay, context table, because I got the feedback from the MySQL that context one is already there. So what I want to do is just I want to perform some kind of the logic. So create a table context one. Just I want to make use of that ID and all the other kind of the conventions. Create table context one ID. Just normal integer auto increment primary key, first name as usual, last name. And as mentioned earlier, this full name is nothing but a generated column where I can contact, I can concatenate these particular first name and last name. And finally, the electronic mail. Okay, so just you refer this particular thing. Now, just have a discussion of description. This particular context one, now you see automatically it is saying that virtually generated. Okay, so this particular virtual generation is nothing but friends. This is the engineered column where we want to pick up from the existing criteria, first name and as well as the last name. Okay, and after making use of this particular convention, now once you observe the kind of generation, and I want to insert the appropriate data. Okay, into the context, I want to insert that particular data. What I want to do is this particular insertion process is a little different. Observe here, let me pick up that particular value. So the generated column always as expression. So just we are providing some kind of the expression, especially in this particular case, we have used that concat of first name and as well as the last name. So to test the full name column, we have to insert a row into the table. So just let us pull that particular information, whatever the concept I'm having. So just I'm making use of this clearing the screen, and I want to insert the data into this particular table like you see. Okay, insert into contacts one. I'm giving my first name, last name and email. And what I'm doing is values of just I'm giving the first name and last name and I'm giving my email. Okay, so if you refer the kind of the insertion, now if I want to select, so select star from contacts one. Okay, so just observe friends here. So their logic is just to make use of this particular electronic mail. So they want to generate this kind of information where there is a matching of, so that in a way they can check up whether this full name is resembling into this particular mail. And once it happened, friends, actually. So they picked up my name from Aadhaar or PAN, whichever I have provided. There they generated like Kumar at the rate some kind of company name. So that Kumar, generally they call me as Uma or Pawan or something like that, but Kumars may be more. Okay, again we have to raise a request and we have to put that across to the team. Okay, I want this particular kind of thing. So as to avoid that convention, if you could able to populate the full name, so that the email allocator also he can also perform some kind of the operations. That is what how you can refer the orientation of the generation of the columns. Okay, now I asked you one question. Let us have a discussion on that particular question. And before that, just you give me some, maybe you can search in the Google or somewhere. Other than this particular thing, is there any other advantage of this generated columns? Okay, because while talking about these particular things. So what I want to give is generated columns um, applications. Maybe whichever maybe you can go ahead with the Googling, or maybe whatever the thoughts coming to your mind, you can portray those kind of things. Okay. So with that, okay, my favorite task now. So let me see how many of you have given the corresponding functions. Mm, So first, Shahid says length replace date difference. Length, however, to find out the length of the string, replace is also one of the important thing, friends. Replace, I can say, suppose we have recruited some trainees, maybe across the India, maybe 500 to 700 trainees. Now, based on the performance, we want to upgrade them from trainees to software engineers or developers or whoever. So rather than update or manually, just I can make use of this particular replace kind of thing. Simply, I can replace the appropriate aspects. And I'll dedicate one of the session to date and timestamp, friends, or else if possible, I will give some kind of the task to the group of people. Date, time, timestamp are most frequently used constructs in our projects, basically, because you're absolutely fine with the integer data, floating data, or how would I say, any varchar kind of data. But especially while working with the date, time, and timestamp, though they are not difficult, but still people feel uh, some difficulty, I can say. So only the thing is lack of number of examples. We'll scope that for one of the team. I'll assign that particular task of creating some small meaningful application in the date time. And maybe I may ask you after completion of the 1 year by that candidate, we need to increment his salary, and we have to send a mail or something like that, some generation of the report. So very good, Shahid, to bring that date functionality. And Praveen says replicate stuff and see the concat WS is a very useful function, friends, actually, because concatenate. Let me give you this example because I have to appreciate you guys to pull those aspects. Suppose if I'm talking about concat function, probably this is the fourth topic we are discussing. So the concat, what we need to do is generally just I need to specify the first name and as well as the last name. Okay, so and the separator. Okay, some in some syntaxes I have to mention these kind of the separators. Automatically this normal concatenation will see the first name and last name, but concat ws, okay, if I want to specify some comma and throughout this concatenation I want to use the same separator without explicitly mention. Okay, so this thing, or else maybe I want to add, okay, concat underscore ws, just in between I want to add space and then comma. Okay, so something like that. Just this concat ws is used to replicate a particular whatever the separator I'm having throughout this particular concatenation process. Very good. And a replication which is used to repeat the kind of stuff. Can you give the explanation, Praveen? So I'm holding here and I'm going ahead with Sahu. So date, coalesce, and concat. Concat already repeated. Date.
Sir, I would like to add month name.
Add month name instead of that concat. Very good. Okay. So coalesce, friends, very important property. while even in data engineering also to efficiently utilize the memory, I'll talk in that context. Okay, so this particular coalesce is something like I want to reduce the partition sizes. Okay, so partition in the sense while working with the tables, this is the best optimization. In fact, advanced SQL kind of thing or PySpark, whatever. The coalesce is some kind of the property where I can make use of the memory efficiently and without wasting the memory. So that is the base point. And seal around all these things are common in every floating or double kind of the data. Maybe if I want to consolidate some kind of information up to the level of the ceiling. Count, which is the most frequently used aggregate function, along with group by all those kind of conventions. And upper is something like which is a conversion actually. So like if I want to make use of my appropriate sometimes we may get the information with handwritten kind of things, maybe getting the feedback or maybe we are working on some kind of the project. We were allocated some of the members to collect the data, so they have to go and collect the data from Orient Mall or some bigger malls. And from that malls, what we want to identify is the weekday and as well as the weekend sales and the members. Okay, so why they are shopping? So for what purpose they are shopping? So in that particular case, they may say that, okay, we are just like that. We came out because weekend generally software engineers and all the employees go to shop, but weekdays, okay, the parents who visit their children and the parents who are free in home, they come and join in the shopping actually. So we want to observe the pulse of the weekday and weekend customers actually. So definitely there we can get some kind of the meaningful insights by interacting with those kind of the customers. And as a result, just we are asking them to enter their name or email ID or phone number if they are not having any problem to share their details. So, but after getting the data entry operator feed the data into the machine. Sometimes they may feel some difficulty. Okay, whether that is small I or capital L or small l, some ambiguous letters are there in English. So for that particular purpose, just I want to convert the entire things into the upper. Even some while filling up some of the applications, maybe banking or in somewhere, these applications while entering that particular data, automatically they take the uppercase only to further avoid the ambiguity. For those kind of things, Wasim has come up with LPAD, round function, and case when. Case when also I want to give one application, friends, for you because that is also one of the important thing. Actually, case classes are there in Scala. The same kind of the functionality you can also expect in case one. And Bharati says LPAD, RPAD, substring, repeat, and he has given some example also. Upper first name, lower last name, length, concat of first name and last name from contacts. Excellent, very good. And random number generation, most frequently in Python, Pandas, and NumPy, we use this random number generation so as to apply some kind of the functionalities on top of the data. And floor and seal, it all depends. Maybe sometimes we want to round the values to the ceiling and sometimes to the floor, especially in the CGPA computing and all. A timestamp also, while referring that particular thing, the timestamps also playing a vital role. Okay, so Sravanti says sum, which is aggregate function again, upper and lower, of course, string based. Harish has given some predefined functions, round, upper, and now. Okay, so some sort of date functionality. And apart from that, Vedant given remove decimals. Print the number round to nearest lower value. That is the property of the floor when compared with the ceiling. Substring also one of the important and commonly used construct, friends. So suppose I'm having a string and I want to pick up a particular portion of the string. Um, in the skills, we maintain the entire skill stack as PySpark, Hadoop, Big Data, like that. And I want to pick up the members who are all having PySpark in their skill set. And that is one thing, or else sometimes, all Kumar, okay, Pawan Kumar, Suresh Kumar, and something like that. So if I want to pick up some portion of the uh, some part of that particular string, I can do that with the substring. Trim also nowadays we are not not focusing on much, but in the earlier days, the trim caused much differentiation actually, because now the SQL engine and MySQL is very intelligent. These kind of things they are automating themselves. But in the earlier versions of these SQL and these things, actually the without the trimming, it is even not uh, equating the appropriate strings with small with spaces and all, and especially in the password kind of thing. And that is what how you can observe. And Harish again giving one more thing: save time when write query. Okay. Improve. Oh, this one. Okay. Generated columns. Right. Very good. So, because guys, especially the generated column, again, we are coming back to our normal discussion. Um, you can use the concat or whatever the predefined functions I am using, but there is one glitch with the predefined functions actually. Okay. So, again, SQL need to contact the predefined, and there is a temporary result generation, and then fetching that particular data into our criteria. There is something, some logic is there. So based on that particular logic, we have to scope the approach. Okay, right. And performance improvement in a way, time saving means the byproduct is the performance improvement. And one more thing, it is a good programming practice to scope those kind of um, logics, because if you are knowing at the beginning of the project only, you know that some of the columns I have to generate based on the availability of the data, then definitely in that case we should go and scope those kind of the conventions. And Sravanti is saying uh, a round value carry forwards along with the decimal, truncate, just never, it won't mind whatever the decimal values. And ceiling, however, nearest highest whole number. Yeah, we discussed in the floor actually. And Sahu has given the advantage of the generated column, save time, reduces manual errors, of course, typo or manual errors, performance oriented, and helpful to reduce the data analysis labor. Exactly. I am guiding you to profile the data and analyzing the data, because creation, insertion, deletion, updation is a typical core tasks of any SQL developer. But in the advanced SQL, what we are seeing is how we can optimize these kind of the performances. Okay, in that orientation, we are talking about how we can increase the readability of the program, and how you can give the meaningful names of the corresponding constructs. All these things we are discussing. And Praveen says, using generated column, we can store the data without actually spending it through the insert or update clauses. Exactly. Because if you observe, here you can see, friends, let me describe that. So describe context one. See here, virtually generated. So this particular full name column, virtually generated. Virtual generation means something should come into your mind, friend. That is the views exactly. So the concept of views also very much helpful in the understanding of performance aspects, and without creating the table again. And there are some security implications also. If the DBA don't want to reveal the entire information of the base table, and the DBA want to scope for the sum of the members to work with only few data items. In that particular case, automatically he can give the information to that's views orientation. So view is nothing but a window. Just we are seeing a scenery kind of thing, and we are capturing that portion of the window. And similarly, from the table also you can capture the few attributes. Okay, that capturing can be done on top of the virtual on top of the table by virtual mode, which is the concept of the views. Okay, so and with that, okay, very good point, Praveen. And Shahid again says save times and improve performance and simplify the uh, unification of the queries is one more important thing, friends, actually. Because as we are saying, I asked you some of the guys like which are all the tools we are making use. Which are all the tools offline. I given some kind of the task to you, uh, like now the industries are also following some kind of the tools so as to standardize their code. Okay, code unification, code standardization is always important rather than using utilities or all the possible kind of things. But the ultimate goal is optimization and as well as the standardization of the code. So once you standardize the appropriate approach and code, now it is easy to disseminate or easy to explain to any other member, no matter whether he is a senior or junior. At the moment I am talking about the standardization of the code, everyone can easily get the data. Nowadays, KT is taking much time and we are spending hours together so as to get the knowledge. But if once you are into the genre of standardizing your code and you are following the kind of the approach which is followed throughout the team or throughout the Indium, then obviously, friends, we can end up with the decorum and of course the standardization of the coding is also achieved with best results and optimized performance. Okay, that is what unification talks actually. Very good, Shahid. And Karthikeyan has given an answer. Generated columns can be used as a way to simplify and unify queries. A complex condition can be defined as a generated column. Though I have used some simple concat, you can use some kind of the expression also, as I said earlier. So with the help of that particular generated column, refer to from multiple queries on the table rather than explicitly scope and handle that particular thing temporarily. You can make use of this particular generated column and you can populate the information. Again, Bharati says more or less the same kind of thing, save time, reducing the errors and improving the performance, unification of the queries. Okay, and Praveen says stuff, which is delete three characters from a string starting in position one and then insert. Okay, maybe he is talking about some kind of example. Select stuff of SQL tutorial 1 comma 3 Python. Um, of course, Python, so just it is always working based on the index based kind of thing. You want to specify the stuff from that particular characters 1, 3. So delete three characters from a string and starting in position 1 and then insert Python in position 1. Okay, that SQL will be replaced by Python now. Okay. So with that, so almost all. Okay, so members has given. Who are not given, I am leaving to you only because I can only instruct you and guide you and giving guide. I can giving ideas to you, but everything I notice, friends. Don't worry. So accordingly, I will react. Okay. So if I am giving any instruction without any deviation, just you follow, right? Okay, no problem. And now, okay. So just we are having some more time in our hand. So just let me pull some other aspect into our agenda. We have taken the transaction management and now we are having the concept of joins actually. I'll take your consent basically because you're all familiar with the join performance and I will run some kind of the queries and maybe I can ask you some why this particular results has come to this particular thing, so that you can have a discussion on joins also. In a way, I'll add some kind of the optimizations and some kind of the additionalities on top of your knowledge on the joins. Okay, so basically, friends, there are certain situations where a join can be a join tells the SQL, maybe MySQL or whatever, to join data from two or more tables into a single result set. So here result set is a word where I can say either I am generating the result from external environment, maybe with JDBC, ODBC kind of thing, or .NET aspect, or else from the available table, I am creating some space for the combination of the tables, and we are projecting that information into the single result set. And there are various aspects, friends: inner joins, outer join, and as well as some kind of cross join kind of thing. But most frequently used kind of the joins are inner, left outer, right outer, and though full outer we are not having directly in MySQL, but there is a chance of running through those particular things also. Okay, now we are having some two possibilities here, friends. Like one is members data, and second is the committees data. So what I'm doing here is, guys, let me create two tables. Always I prefer to give some example and then we'll go with the topic. So just I am taking some example for you guys. So just I am making use of this convention. I'm creating some members data, member ID, name, and primary key. Maybe we are in the process of assigning some kind of the members to the committees. Maybe we are having the client meeting, first client meeting, where we are getting some kind of the project. Okay, so in that particular case, we are having some members. Okay, based on their capabilities, we are going to map them into the committees. That is the scenario. Okay, for the sake of catering the needs of the clients. So in that respect, just we are creating the members. So the members data is having this member ID, name, and another way of creating this primary key is a table level, like that member ID can be given, and that is your wish, friends. Either you can give at the column orientation also the primary key, and you can have that primary key at the mm, table level. Now, as said earlier, we are having some other option called committees information, and this particular committee data also containing some information. I have to assign these committees based on my availability. So just I am fetching that information of creating the committee. So create table committees, committee ID, name, and as well as the primary key. Okay, maybe you can observe already created. Okay, no problem. So if it is already there, means we can directly use. So committees one. Okay, that committee ID and as well as the name. This member ID and as well as the name. Now you may be wondering, many at times, friends. Generally, the ID column we maintain same in both the tables, because one of the criteria with understanding of that particular joins is um, student number, employee number. We are habituated that. But I have selected this particular scenario because there is a little distinction when compared with normal join understanding. Because in a way I am scoping that scenario also, like friends, with respect to these members allocation to the committees, and I want to pick up some kind of the names so as to cater the needs of the committees, right? Okay, so this is the context to set. Now, once this particular thing is over, just what I want to do is we want to insert the corresponding data into the members and as well as the committees. Okay, so in the members, so let me change the names. Here I'm having the members like Harish is there, and then I'm having in committee also I want to put Harish. And a second thing is mm, I want to give Praveen here, okay, in the members, and here also Praveen. Just I'm changing that before entering into the table. And finally, I'm giving another member, Wasim. Here also I'm giving some Wasim in the committee. And one more thing, friend, generally from the client side also we may have the people. Okay, it is obvious, no? Client member, client point of contact would be there. And so what we are doing is here and there we are making use of the members. So of the committees, okay, client side members, and from Indium also we are making some members. Now what I'm doing is insert into members one only. I'm giving the name of the corresponding person in the corresponding member, Harish, Jane, Praveen, David, and Wasim. So just I am inserting. Um, and obviously just I am having some kind of the information in the existing table. That is perfectly all right, no problem. So select star from members one. Okay, Harish, Jain, Praveen, David, and Wasim. Now in the committees, what I am doing here is just I am populating the corresponding names. Okay, in the committees also. So for this you can see as a table where I am having potential members, and but in the committees I want to scope Harish, Praveen, and as well as the Wasim from our team. And maybe Joy is one more member added from IT or somewhere, maybe our company only. But still we need some support, no? Maybe for the lab, virtual labs or something. Maybe I'm scoping that particular thing, Joe from the IT. Okay, support. Now at the moment I am selecting this particular data like committees. Uh, Always I need to see the typo. Okay, so this time the point is very clear. Members, I'm having 5 members, and but I'm having only 4 members got the scope in the committees. Okay, because for that particular project exclusively. Now one more point here, friends. Let me run the query of one possible thing, and then I'll be showing some other kind of things to you. The advantage of this particular MySQL is, friends, it allows us to work with the corresponding joins with the proper names actually. If the join is there, then it clearly specifies inner join and all. And I'll ask you some question on top of this where I'm portraying the understanding of these joins. So what we're doing is I have to change the names. Sorry, friends, 1 minute. So because committee one we are working on, and one more thing is the members. Okay, members one. So just let me change that. So because we'll follow one approach. Okay, so that there should not be any ambiguous situation. Let us run this. Members is not there, however. I have created members one. So just you observe here and then run the query. Okay, so this tells I should, because in the text specification it is automatically taking the capital letters. I don't think, okay, no other option is there for this. Let us run the query. Yeah, now let us understand this particular query, friends, actually. So let me clear and paste once more. Uh, it seems I have to change the members again. Let us first I should run and then only. Yeah, no problem. Um, Here only I will change, guys. Sorry. Members one. Okay. So the way we are going is All the keywords are by default, even though they are capital or small, never mind. But database object should be case sensitive. They are case sensitive, so that we are struggling, right? Okay. Now let us try to work on this particular statement. Alias name directly we are using because every time rather than referring committee and member. So just we start from this from keyword, and we are selecting M as alias name for the members one table, and C for the committees table. Okay. Now I'm selecting member ID, M dot member ID. M is referenced by the M is the alias for the members, and here M dot name as member. And one more thing, friends, rather than going with the name of the existing thing, you are having all the chances of aliasing that particular thing for the meaningful appearance of the data. And then I'm not having any issue with the committee ID. As usual, I'm going with the committee ID and name of the committee. So just I want to maintain that as committee one. Maybe for the same project, I am having multiple committees, but I am only working with committee one initially as a pilot project, and then I can go ahead with the other committees. Try to observe this particular thing, friends. Inner join. Okay, inner join. That means within the same table, just by considering a common column. Actually, the common column here is if you observe the name column rather than the ID, we are focusing on the name column. That's what we are scoping that particular name in this inner join. Okay. Now, one question for you guys. Of course, on is absolutely fine. Is there any other alternative is there for a join option on top of this on? Just to think through, because sometimes the same kind of the approach can be followed in multiple ways. Maybe on or today I'll take little 10 or 10 minutes more, guys, and accordingly we can plan the lunch, no problem. So just in between, I don't want to stop. So that's what. Please, sorry for that. Um, So now at the moment you are talking, yeah, I got some answer. Very good. Where class? Okay, no problem, Wasim. Yeah, that's alternative. I am not asked about the. I have not asked about the alternative, but the joins again. Let me put in this way. Let me put my question in a proper way. While using the joins, other than on, is there any other option? Yeah. So just to observe here. As if you're considering this particular like whatever the aspect I am having, rather than using on, there are certain other options also. Let me pull that particular point to you. So just I am trying to fetch the data. Okay, hope this time I should get the data without any problem. 1 minute, guys. Okay. So if you are making use of this particular convention, okay, the same thing. I want to manage the committees and as well as the members. Okay, so just this time a small change is there. Have a look on this, guys. Intentionally, I am using some differentiation. Select statement is same as that of this particular thing. And from is also, of course, we are working on the same case study, members and as well as the committees. That is also similar. And inner join is also same. But rather than using on, I'm performing some using option actually. That's what I expected from you. Now a small question, maybe you can give answer to me afternoon. On versus using. On versus using in join operation. Yes. On versus using are related to the join operation. So just to think through, uh, now I am not explaining, but answer is however in front of you, but I want to hear from you. Okay, so no problem. Just we'll have a look on that. So just if you are making use of this particular convention of joining the option from multiple tables, both performs the same, either using or on. If you observe the condition, while using on kind of the criteria, I want to make use of c dot name and as well as the m dot name. C dot name and m dot name. C is of course committees and m is nothing but the members. But here in the second running of the corresponding inner join, I didn't mention any equality between the names. Directly what we have done is directly we are making use of that using option. That using is something like which is giving us the same logic 135. Harish, Praveen and Wasim got the place in committee. Okay, so accordingly we are populating the data. Just to observe that already you got some essence of this thing. Okay, so I can help you to observe some more aspect. Mm, and other kind of thing is maybe I would say this one also. Okay, using of name. And then I am giving you the, oh, already using I have given. Maybe I should get the on. I'll get this one on c dot name and m dot name. Okay, just to think through. It is copying same. Oh, no problem. I'll edit here. C on c dot name equal to m dot name. Okay, likewise, no problem. Okay, now the point here is, guys, the inner join, of course, perfectly all right. So only the doubt here is why we are making use of the convention of I mean, using and on, except that we are very clear. But now see here again, I am moving to our OneNote and I am pasting something here, some picture where I am having some members and all. Let me share this particular screen and we'll spend some time over here. How we are, why we are getting multiple data items. Okay, multiple in the sense the same data in multiple ways. Okay, I am facing some issue, friends, to share 1 minute. Yeah, got it. Okay, now just I am, we have seen some kind of the members and as well as the committees. And you know, guys, let me copy that particular result also so that we can have a look on understanding of this thing. I'm copying the result and simply I am pasting here. It is not allowing me, but let me try. No. So, or else let me understand this way. I'm having member ID and as well as the committee ID. Names are repeating. So member ID, name, committee ID, name. Okay, so just we are having some kind of the data and name is however getting repeated. Okay, pretty no, you know the reason, because from the members and from the committee we are getting the information. So committees also portraying the names, members also portraying the names, and this members dot name we have checked with committees dot name. This is the on or else using name. This is one more option. Either of the ways you can just research on distinction between on and using name. So this is the simple criteria where I would suggest to generate the appropriate information related to the members and as well as the committees. Now, suppose if there is a chance of, like, you know, same column. Based on the same column, if I want to match, I can go ahead with that. But sometimes, friends, the management is having one more option. Like, okay, let me see how many members are there in left over in the corresponding members list, and I want to get all the information from the members list. So in that particular case, just I am running one more query. So where I want to project this particular idea, okay, in front of you. Like my expectation is this one actually. So you can see the picture. I mean, irrespective of the committees, I want to pick up the members. Maybe I want to assign some more meaningful task to the leftover members. Okay. So in that particular case, I need to join this particular two tables, provided this time I should get the combination of the members and committee. In addition to that, I should know the fullest members present in the corresponding table. This is the requirement. So in that particular case, friends, at the same again, just we are going back to our a normal specification of fetching the data from members and committees, and same logic. So with a little distinction, that particular logic is, guys, here. Let me share once more our virtual lab where you can portray the scene like, okay, so the same kind of the logic related to our requirement. So control L. So let me clear the screen first. Okay. Now a little modification, friends, here. I want to pick up all the members from the list. Left join to the committees. Okay, M corresponding member ID. M is the alias for the members. Name as member, a committee ID, and committee name as just we are mentioning that as a committee. Whatever the alias name you want, you can give. From members one, alias M, and left join of the committees one, C using name. Now we can have a conclusion, friends. On and using, again, I am not using on here. I have used this using clause only. There is a criteria for that. Now you observe, guys, here. So let me select star from members one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Harish, Jane, Praveen, David, and Wasim. Like that, we're having some set of the names in the first table. Let us focus on this particular table. The names, however, Harish, in a disorder, in a different order we got. But of course, the names were there. Harish is there, Jane is there, Praveen, and David, and Wasim. Okay. It is open truth, friends. The matching records, if the corresponding matching records are not there in the second table, obviously they will be pulled up with null. Okay, and similarly, the members who got placed in the committee, actually we know those members. Where those guys? Okay, here also we can see Harish, Praveen, and Wasim. Only these three guys got the place in the committee, so that the management can see that, oh, this Jane guy and David, we can make use for the any other kind of the commitment with the client. So left join, don't feel that though the kind of the table generating the null values, but still there is a possibility of achieving these kind of the convention with all the means of getting the criteria. Now I want to bring one more point actually. That's where I want to have some kind of the approach with you. Now just let me share the OneNote here for you guys. Uh, so my requirement is a bit distinct, where I want to scope. If possible, you also give a try. Okay, otherwise I'll help you to understand that particular approach. So just I am sharing this one. Yeah, this is my requirement, friends. This is my requirement because let us go back. Inner join, the combination of the members and committees, that is absolutely fine. Now we got to have this left outer join, fullest members, and I want to know who are all the members there in the table, and no matter whether they were assigned with some of the committees or not, that's absolutely fine. But now the point is the members who are participating um, in this way. I don't want to explain much, but I want to get these kind of thing. At least just to frame the requirement, friends, I'll wait for 2 or 3 minutes just to frame the requirement. So how these kind of thing in between, without wasting the time, just I will pull some kind of the query for you, and that particular query is exactly achieving the same. Or else you do one thing, just to observe how I am running the query, and based on that particular thing, you can analyze your understanding, right? That is a good idea, rather than again spending some time on this particular lunchtime. Okay, so as committee, so just I'm revising this one to member one, members one, and as well as committees one, because we are having those two tables in our database. Just I'm getting some criteria for you. So rather I can share this particular virtual lab. So within that, just I want to scope. Let me clear the screen, guys. Okay, so have a look on that. Just to recollect the picture, whichever I have pasted in the OneNote. Uh, if possible, let me pick up this thing and in the chat. Yes, this is the requirement of mine. Huh? So let us try to get into this logic. Keep that picture in mind, and this logic also. Someone has told instead of join, you can use the where clause. But along with the join also, there are some cases where you can use the where clause, friends, because it is definitely giving much importance to us. Okay, so that is what selection, member ID, these are all common up to this before from we are having M member ID, M name, committee ID, committee, all these things, and alias name members one M. And what we are doing is left join. Definitely that is if you observe the picture, it is a left join only. But there is a small trick in that. We want to avoid something from that particular thing. What we have done is just we have scoped. Okay, maybe I'm having the left join results with me, and now I want to pick up this particular result. Let us have a look on that. Okay, so is null, whatever, and this is one side, and I want to run the left join query, which I have executed earlier. So let me pick that particular thing also, so that you can also have the understanding of how our left join is working. Okay, so just I am fetching that particular data, and I want to portray that particular result also, uh, so that you can compare the results and then you can give the answer to me. Observe, guys. So all five members, irrespective of the committee placement, were appeared here. But whereas at the moment I am talking about this kind of the join, now you can analyze your diagram. I want the left members exclusively, and in a way I can conclude that who are not allocated in the committee, because this particular table gives us some high level understanding. Okay, though it is projected to the corresponding leadership, but it is bit ambiguous. Okay, it is providing some kind of the ambiguous situation. Again, they need to see and work. Okay, who are all not allocated, something like that. But if you see here, guys, okay, clearly it is saying that there is no ID assigned to these guys, and there is no committee. Okay, the no this Jane and David not involved in any committee kind of thing. So what I mean to say is just to observe this case study, friends. Okay, committees and members, we have taken some scenario, and there initially I want to highlight the advantage of joins actually. Don't see that particular join as a combiner for two tables. Rather, conceptually, the join is performing some additional aspects also, friends, like how I am working with these kind of the criteria, and question should be arise, and how I need to portray my requirement according to the approach. Because at the moment I am using only left join, and without focusing on whether the corresponding matching records are there or not. But still here, guys, just I am having one more option called where clause. Okay, so though by avoiding the join, you can go with the where or union kind of the things, but still joins are most powerful constructs. Okay, as far as if you consider the usage, but there are certain elements still the questions are open. So maybe in the afternoon session, we'll come across the conclusion of this particular joins. And I'm stopping here, guys. Sorry to overboard you, but we cannot stop the topic in between, so that I have taken the chance. Now 117. Okay, we'll assemble by 2:30. Okay, or 2:35. Okay, just we'll assemble by 2:35 accordingly on the pro rata basis only. We'll take the lunch time. No problem. By 2:35 we'll start, and again after 5 I'm having some meeting. So, but the afternoon tasks are pretty. Your involvement is more. So the interactive session I am dedicating. Okay, first half or 1 hour I will be taking mic, and then meantime you prepare to share the screen and explain the things whatever I have asked. That is the first task. Second task is, however, the members exclusively allocated. The remaining 4 members I have to evaluate. Those 4 members can give the can be given the mic to explain their topics. And finally, and most importantly, formation of the groups. So I'm expecting you guys to form groups yourself, and if any help is required to form the